Hey y'all, Zach with Real Property Associates here. We're jumping into our February market update. This is going to be the stats from January. I wanted to first recap a couple articles that I read recently. There was an article in US Weekly a few weeks back that rated Seattle as the 6th best place to live in the United States. I posted the link on my Facebook page earlier in the month. I'll go ahead and link it up. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'll link it up below in the comments. And I'll even link it up on my email. If you get subscribed to my monthly market update, I'll go ahead and link it up there as well. A few other interesting stats. So we're going to talk about the inventory in Seattle and how low it is. But in Seattle, we have the second lowest rate of homes for sale in the US. That was an article in the Seattle Times a few weeks back as well. And they talked about some of the other major metro areas. And San Francisco is the only major metro area that has a lower rate of homes for sale than the city of Seattle. So this inventory crisis, I would call it almost, in the city of Seattle is one of the driving factors behind the continued increases in prices over the last few years. Inventory right now in Seattle, and this is at the end of last month, was at 0.6 months of inventory. So what that means is if no homes come on for sale this month, we'll run out of homes to sell in half a month. And so we're seeing this problem in Seattle, but it stretches out to the suburbs. Edmonds, Linwood, Shoreline, they're all below a month's worth of inventory, and that's just causing an even more intense increase in these purchase prices. And what this means for a buyer is that you're competing with other buyers for the same homes, and when there's less inventory, that means there's more competition for the same homes. So where there might have been 1 or 2 offers, if inventory was a little bit better, maybe a month and a half, 2 months, you're going to be competing with 5 to 10 buyers for the same house. So it's a really tough market out there right now for buyers. And I do want to stress, if you're thinking about buying a house in the near future, it's really important that you work with somebody that studies the market, understands how to negotiate in a competitive situation. Because if you're working with, and no offense to Uncle Bob, but if you're working with Uncle Bob and Uncle Bob sells a couple homes a year on the side, you might not necessarily know how to work these multiple offer situations or be as on top of the market as somebody that's in the trenches every day. And I'm not selling myself necessarily. I'd love for you to work with me, but there are also other agents that are really in the market and know what's going on. But I do want to stress that it's really important, if you're a buyer, to work with somebody that knows what's going on and can navigate the market. Let's talk about Seattle a little bit more. So the city of Seattle, that's what you all are here for anyway. The city of Seattle, we had a median sales price of $615 last month. That is about 5% up from last year's in January. The rolling stats over the past 12 months, we've seen an average of 12.7% increase in the median sales price. And again, there's an article, this was a few months back, summertime, I'm talking about how Seattle was leading the country in the growth of the median sales price. And so we're continuing that trend. I don't expect that to change here this year unless there is some kind of major economic collapse or interest rates skyrocket. But assuming things stay relatively similar to the way they are now, I can't predict anything but the continual growth here at a similar rate, 10, 11, 12%. Some of my contemporaries would argue and say that we're going to see declines, but they've been saying that for the last few years and they've been wrong. So one thing I do want to stress, this is my plug for listings. We have no inventory out there. So if you or somebody you know is thinking about selling a house, now is the time to do it. The market's never been hotter. Prices have never been higher. If you bought in 2008, the median sales price in Seattle was $430. If you're wanting to sell now, the median sales price is, well, I just said $615. So you're looking at almost $200,000 of an increase in the median sales price since 2008 when it was the previous high. So now is a great time to sell. If you're thinking about downsizing, give me a call. Let's talk. And if you just have any questions in general, I'm happy to be a resource for you guys. And we'll talk again here in another month or so. Bye for now.